meet on your backs in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly pose. So you're on your back, the soles of your feet are together. You can have one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. You can close your eyes or have them open in a easy gaze, but you want to find comfort. And notice your breath. Just notice your natural breath. And the connection between your body and the floor. Notice each point that connects your body to the floor. And to begin to feel that heaviness of your body sinking or melting into the floor. Notice your belly rising and falling, and your chest rising and falling in your natural breath. Start to feel the lightness of your body as you bring that awareness to your breath. Your body is completely relaxed. The mind is completely aware. Your body feels light. Bring some awareness to your toes. Feel the toes on your right foot. Envision your toes attached to your left foot. Left big toe. Fourth toe. Third toe. Second toe. Pinky toe. The left foot. The heel, the sole of your foot, the ankle, the whole left foot. Thank you, left foot. Now think about your right foot, your right big toe, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, pinky toe, the right heel, the sole of the foot, the ankle, the whole of the right foot, both feet together. They do so much work for us. They are so often ignored. Now move up to the left leg, the shin, the calf muscle, the knee, the thigh, the left buttock, the whole left leg. Now your right leg, its shin, the calf muscle, the knee coming up, the thigh, the right buttock, the whole right leg, both legs together. Come up to your hips. Feel that lower back. Can you press it into the mat? Your middle back, the upper back, your whole back, that long spine, the whole back. Now your left shoulder blade, it's pressing into the mat. Your right shoulder blade, it's pressing into the mat. Left shoulder, Left upper arm, your triceps, left elbow, your lower arm, your forearm, your wrist, your hand. Now your right shoulder, your right upper arm, your tricep, your right elbow, your right lower arm, your right wrist, right hand, both arms together. Your chest, the ribs, the belly, the whole front of your body, the whole front of your body, the whole front of your body, your neck, the back of your head on the mat, your forehead, your left eyebrow, your right eyebrow, and that space between your eyebrows. Now your left eye, your right eye, your left cheek, your right cheek, and your jaw, your tongue. Press it up to the roof of your mouth. Now relax it. Your lips, your chin, the throat, your whole head together, your whole body together. Feel that lightness of your body all together. Relax, and now sink into your mat. Feel that heaviness again. Relax your whole body. Relax. Feel the body connected to the floor. Feel that body awareness. We have so much to thank our bodies for. They do such a good job. Even when they're ill, they're still working so hard. We've got so much to be thankful for. That you found your way to your mat today. I'm thankful for that. Now begin to bring small movements to your fingers, to your toes. Again, notice your breath. Gently roll over to your right side and cradle your head in your arm. And gently come up to a comfortable seated position. With your eyes closed or with a soft gaze, bring your hands to your heart. Firmly place your thumb knuckles on your chest wall. And we'll start practice with the sound of one Om together. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Make your way to tabletop. Your shoulders are right on top of your wrists. Your hips are right on top of your knee. Your toes can be tucked or flat on your mat. Breathe in, breathe out in neutral spine. Now let's do 5 rotations of cat-cow. Cow is dropping your waist, raising your hips and chin. And on an exhale, Halloween cat. Arch your spine, bring your chin into your chest. Cow. Exhale, cat. Really make exaggerated motions. Cow. Inhale, breathe in and exhale, cat. 2 more rounds, cow. Cat. Cow. Come back to a neutral spine and breathe. Extend your right hand out in front and your left leg behind you. Stamp the wall with your back foot. Really stretch your right hand out and bring your elbow to knee in a crunch. Exhale. Inhale, expand out. Exhale, crunch in. One more. Inhale, expand out. Exhale, crunch in. Drop your hand. Let's do the same on the other side. Extend your left hand out like you're shaking someone's hand in front of you, stamping the back wall with your right foot. Breathe in, breathe out, and bring your elbow to your knee in a crunch. Expand. Exhale in a crunch. Expand, inhale. Exhale, crunch. One more, expand, stamp the wall. Exhale, crunch. Find your way back to hero's pose or a sit on your cross leg. Let's really stretch out our wrists. Bring your hands out in front of you, like you're stopping someone. No, halt. Okay, we are gonna open and close our fingers for 30 seconds as quickly as we can, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Start rotating your wrists around, one way, the next way, around and around. Put your hands on the floor, pink fingers facing the wall in front of you. And now face your fingers together. Now face the opposite way, your wrists facing each other. Try to bend into this and out. And if you can, get your fingers facing your knees if that's possible, and try to stretch. Good. Now, let's take your hand to your opposite elbow and really give yourself a big hug. You might want to do a little bit of twisting and up, switch. Giving yourself a big hug. Congratulating yourself for making your way to your mat today. I congratulate you. I'm so happy that you joined me today. Okay, come back to knees. We're going to do 3 more rounds of cat-cow. Neutral spine. You're perfectly aligned. Your shoulders are on top of your wrists. Your knees are right below your hips. Look up, cow. Look down, cat, arching your back. Look up, cow. Look down, arch your back. One more, look up. Exhale to cat. And make your way to downward facing dog. Your first down dog of the day. Come up, bend your knees a lot. Pedal out your feet. Really feel your fingers, your top finger pads right in the mat. You can almost bring your palms up off the mat a little bit. You're really gripping the mat with your fingers. A very strong connection between your forefinger and your thumb. That's where there's a lot of power. Pedaling out your feet. Point your toes to the left side of your mat. Give a good bend in your knees. Feel that side body stretch. Come back up onto your tippy toes and go to the other side. Point your toes to the right side of your mat and bend your knees. Bend, bend, bend. Come back up on your tippy toes. Tippy, tippy, tippy toes. Sink your ankles. Tippy, tippy, tippy toes. Sink your ankles as much as you can. Breathe in. Start employing Ujjayi breath, that victorious sound of breath, constricting the back of your throat. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and tippy toe to the front, to the top of your mat. Tip, 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 as many little teeny steps as possible. Keep your hands on the mat. Come onto your four fingers. Now, come up to halfway lift. Hands on your shin or thigh. Stretch your crown of your head towards the wall in front of you. Really hold this and really breathe into this stretch. Lower down, forward fold. Let's do that halfway lift again. Halfway lift. Breathe in, breathe out. Really stretch forward and forward fold. Come up to mountain pose. Energetic mountain pose. Really reach your fingers up, look up. There's a little back bend, take it, and forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back to high plank. And in your high plank, again, your stack. Your shoulders are on top of your elbows are on top of your wrists, and your forefinger is pointing straight ahead at 12 o'clock. Drop your knees, lower halfway down, tucking those elbows. Now come up to upward facing dog. That's where your chest is coming through your triceps. You look up and you come back to downward facing dog. You can roll back on your toes, or however you get there, come back to downward facing dog, our second down dog of the day. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You can bend and jump forward, or take a big step to the top of your mat, step forward, fold. Halfway lift, fold. Mountain pose, stretch. Everything is stacked. You're in good true north position and fold. Halfway lift. Step back to high plank. Your high plank. You can go on your knees, lower to low plank, or really halfway down plank. Come up to upward facing dog. You can look up or just straight ahead, either way. Bend back to downward facing dog and breathe. One more, inhale. Close your lips, exhale, step forward, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, mountain pose. Reach up, 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 dive down, forward fold, halfway lift, and again, step back to high plank, high plank. Your body is straight, the crown of your head is forward, lower down halfway. Come up to upward facing dog and downward facing dog. And breathe, 3 victorious breaths, closing your lips. We're gonna do one more sun salutation. A, step forward to the top of your mat, fold, halfway lift. Tuck that tummy when you do this. Forward fold. Come up to mountain pose. And forward fold. Dive down. Halfway lift. Step back to high plank. Tuck your elbows in. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good job. Breathe. If you need to You need to open your mouth, do that. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. This time, close your lips. Step forward, warrior one. So your right foot is coming forward, your toes are pointing straight ahead, your back foot is at 45 degrees with the blade edge of your back foot really into the mat. Your hips, put your hands on your hips. Your hips are, you want to get it so that your hip bones are facing the front of the mat or the front of the room. Your knee, your right knee, look down, it's directly over your ankle. So your calf is in a perpendicular line with the mat. Again, your toe is facing forward, your hips are facing forward, your back leg is strong. That back blade of your back foot is really digging into the mat. Come up to cactus arms. And if your shoulders are agreeable, bring your hands up overhead, your triceps wrapping around your ear, and sink. Think about zipping up your favorite pair of blue jeans, that tummy tuck. Your pelvis is neutral, it's facing straight down to the mat. Bring your hands to the mat and step back to high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe. This is the part of the practice where we're warming up our body. We want a warm body because when we do stretching later, we want our body to be warm when we do that to really help deepen the stretch, but also to help prevent injury. Step your left leg forward, warrior one, using the same cues, toes at 12 o'clock, knee over ankle, hips facing, hip bones facing the front of the room, pelvis is neutral facing the bottom to the mat, and your back leg is strong with that back blade edge of your foot really digging into the mat. When you're ready, bring your arms up to cactus, breathe, sink. And when you're ready, bring your arms up as if you're doing a mountain pose with your triceps around your ears, and breathe. Hands to mat. High plank, tuck your elbows, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Good job, breathe. We're gonna do another sun salutation B on both sides. So we're gonna step our right foot forward between our hands, swing around our back foot so it's 45 degrees, come up, raise your arms up overhead, and breathe. These warrior positions are so named because they're very active. Hands to mat, bring your foot back, high plank, lower down halfway, come up through upward facing dog and come back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Step your left foot forward between your hands, swing your right foot back to 45 degrees. Get those hips in line with the front of your mat. Neutral pelvis, arms overhead. And breathe. Hands to mat. Step your foot back, halfway down, upward facing dog, and come back into child's pose or to Supta Baddha Konasana for a few breaths. Breathe in and out. When you're ready, close your lips and use Ujjayi breath. Come back up to tabletop. Pause here for a moment. Come back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And step your right foot forward. Come up on your back, on your left toes. Come up slowly. Bring your arms parallel to your mat. So I'm stretching my arms out parallel to the mat. And then come up. Bring your arms around your ears into crescent lunge. And breathe and sink. Just like in the warriors, you're stacked. Your knee is over your ankle. Your back leg is strong. This time though, you're on your back toes. This is a little bit of a balance. If you fall out of it, just come back in. Bring your hands to your chest and hinge forward and twist. I'm hooking my right elbow around my right knee. I can also come up, you can also do this, you can extend your arms in either direction in a T, if that's more comfortable. So either variation, I'm going to hook my elbow, because it gives me leverage to try to get my shoulders stacked on top of one another. And we breathe to extend, and we twist on the exhale. Breathe, extend, twist. If you can, open your arms, if that's in your practice. And now slowly bring your arms out in front of you and back up overhead. Good. Good, good, good. Come into warrior two. So now I'm flipping my back toes around so they're more parallel with the back of my mat. My front knee is just the same, but my arms are out in a T. Side angle. So now let's do a reverse warrior, also called humble warrior. So my arm can be straight overhead, or it can come up and my tricep can be around my ear for a deeper side body stretch. Now I'm going to bring my right elbow onto my right thigh. I'm going to bring my left arm overhead. And if I want an extended side angle, I bring that arm closer, that forearm closer to my ear. And breathe. Good. Come back up. Put your hands on the mat. Bring that right foot back to meet your left foot. We're in downward facing dog. Breathe. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to step our left foot forward for crescent lunge. I'm going to try to get my foot as much as I can between my two hands. I come up on my back toes and I come up really slow. I like to put my arms first parallel to the mat because that helps me use my core muscles to come back all the way up. So I'm going to breathe into this pose. I'm way high on my back toes, I hope. And then I'm going to bring my hands to my heart in a prayer position. And again, twist in the way that makes sense to you. Breathe in, and on an exhale, I'm going to hook my right elbow around my left knee. And I'm going to try to stack my shoulders. Breathing. On the exhale, twist. On the inhale, expand. Exhale, twist. If the If it's there for you, open your arms. Now come up to warrior two. Again, you're going to swing your back foot. It can be more parallel to the back of your mat than you are when you are in warrior one. And extend your arms in opposite directions in a T, really stretching out warrior two. Breathe. You've got a neutral pelvis, which means your butt isn't sticking out, nor is it Michael Jackson, nor is it, jutted forward. It's just neutral. Tuck your tummy like you're fastening your favorite pants. Come back to humble warrior, and then place your left knee on your left thigh. Bring your right arm to point to the ceiling, and then you can bring it to extended side angle so you get a side body stretch. Come back to warrior two and step your feet together at the front of your mat. Let's do this is my favorite part, mostly because I'm not very good at balance, but I know it's so important. So let's work on our balance a little bit. We're going to go through, 4 or 5 balance poses. So the first is eagle. We come into a chair pose. So chair is where we're really, it's almost like a squat. We're really trying to bring our hips down. Look down to see if you can see your toes, right? And your arms are as much overhead as possible. If that's uncomfortable for you, do cactus arms. That's just fine. Now we're going to wrap our right arm around our left arm. Palms are facing each other, and we're going to wrap our right leg around our left. Flex toes if they're not wrapped around your shin. Just kind of really flex those toes. Now raise your elbows so they're in line with your shoulders. And breathe. And try to really kind of sink into this. Come back up. Feet together, arms overhead in mountain. Let's do the same thing on the left. Go into a chair pose. Wrap your left arm around your right, your left leg around your right leg. Flex those toes. Raise the elbows in line with your shoulders. And if you can, point your palms to the wall that you're facing. Really feel the stretch in between your shoulders. Come back up, mountain pose, feet on the mat. And let's do another eagle on the right. Squat in chair. Wrap your right arm around your left, your right leg around your left, and sink. Breath. And drishti, find a gaze point. Feet on the mat. Bring your arms at samastiti, palms facing forward. Raise your right knee to be in line with your right hip. Bring that knee out to the side. You can bring your left arm out to the left and gently bring your gaze over to your left thumb. Come back to center. You can put your foot down for a second. Now, we're going to go into airplane. So my palms are facing forward. I'm going to bring them behind my body and very slowly raise my right leg behind me, foot flexed, stamping the wall. Try to bring the pinkies as close together behind your back as possible. And bring a small bend to your left knee. And breathe. I'm looking at the floor in front of me. Bring your feet to the mat. Good job. Let's do that on the other side. We're going to bring our left knee up to hip height. I'm going to extend my right arm out and open my left hip. Bring your gaze over to your right thumb. Breathe. Breathe. Bring your feet to the mat. Samasthiti, hands, palms facing forward. Airplane on the left. Slowly, like you're going through molasses, with ease. Little up dog in your chest. Breathe. Breathe. Feet to mat. Good job. We've got one more eagle to do on the left. Come into chair. Left arm under right arm. Left leg around. And breathe. If you fall out like I just did, just get back into it. Doesn't matter. Feet to mat. Let's do dancer, because we all like to dance, right? I love to dance. So I'm now going to face the other wall so you can see the basic position. We take our hand, our open palm, and we place it like we're hitchhiking and grab our right ankle. So my thumb is actually around my right heel, and I'm grabbing the inside of my ankle. I come up, I bring my knees so that they're in line with one another. I get everything stacked. My left arm is overhead, like I'm in mountain. This is a small motion. We're hinging forward, but we're keeping our shoulders parallel. Only go as far as you can, keeping your shoulders parallel. And breathe. Bring some bend into your standing leg. Breathe. Breathe. Foot to mat. Let's do dancer on the left. Again, my hand is grabbing the inside of my ankle. My thumb is pointing up. My knees are parallel with one another. My arm is overhead. And I hinge forward only as much as I can, keeping my shoulders in line. So it's not a lopsided hinge. It's a very much inline hinge. Breathe. 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 Foot to mat. Good job. Now let's come forward, facing any direction that works for you, and we'll do tree. So tree is kickstand with your toes on the ground and your foot, your ankles kind of meeting. You're bringing your toes to the inside of your shin, or you're bringing your foot to be on the inside of your thigh. Any hand variation is fine. And breathe. Feet to mat. Tree on the other side. And again, there's alignment to tree. You don't want your hip like punching out that way. You want to try to get things stacked and even. feet to mat. Good job. Let's come back. Let's go down onto our mats, come into a high plank, and very slowly lower all the way down to put your favorite cheek on the mat. Your hands can be wherever it's comfortable. I have to take my glasses off. And breathe. Bring your arms long by your side. Face your palms towards the floor. My palms are actually on the floor. My toes are together. My legs are straight. I'm in a staff position only. I'm lying on the floor. I'm going to bring my forehead to the mat, and we're going to lift up into locust pose. First, bring your toes up off the mat. If you can raise your shins off and maybe a little bit of your thigh, now add your chest. Same motion as we had in airplane. Our pinkies are trying to meet behind us. Breathe, 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 and mat. Other favorite cheek on the mat. We'll do one more locust. Breathe, put your forehead on the mat, set up for locust number 2. Toes together and up. Try to bring another rib off the floor if you can. Breathe, 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 and lower. We're really setting up, this is coming to be the kind of the pinnacle of this practice, which is some back bending. Back bends are so good for us. You know, our spines do a lot of work for us. They hold us upright. So I want you to come up on your knees and look down to make sure everything, your hips are on top of your knees and your shoulders are on top of your hips. And I want to put your hands like you're putting them into your jeans pocket for camel pose. And again, just like dancer, this is a very small movement. We're trying to get our elbows closer together behind our back. We're dropping our shoulders down, and we're trying to point our chest to the ceiling. It's not about bending back hugely. It's about getting our chest to the ceiling. You can really use your hands in those back pockets as an assist. And breathe. You can feel your abdominals engage, I hope. And breathe. And come up. Put your hands on the mat. Let's do a couple cat-cows. Cow, drop your waist. Cat, arch your back. Cow, drop your waist. Cat, arch your back. Come up for camel number 2. Hands in your back pocket. Chest to ceiling. If it's comfortable for you, you can drop your head back, but that's not really necessary, and only do it if you feel like your neck is strong enough to do that. Breathe. Good. Come down. Again, to just let's put our hands on the mat for a second, catch our breath. And now bring your feet forward and come onto your back for bridge pose. So we're going to set up for bridge. You can do bridge. You can do an assisted bridge. If you have a block, you can put that underneath your sacrum, or you can rest. So in bridge pose, our knees are bent, our ankles are right under our knees, and I can sweep the back of my heels with my fingers. So my arms are completely flat on the mat. I can feel my triceps, biceps. Well, let's see, that would be my, I guess it's my biceps. It might be my triceps. Anyways, the top of your arm is on the mat, your forearms on the mat, your elbows on the mat, your hands are on the mat. Your feet are pointing straight ahead. Your toes are at 12 o'clock. And we use our arms and our feet to bring our hips up. We're not using our butt muscles, okay? So we're going on a count of 1, come up and bridge. Try to draw your knees together and really use your arms to help get those hips up. Breathe. And lower. You can windshield wiper your hips, your legs, your knees. Okay, bridge number 2. Make sure your feet are in good position and come up and breathe. My toes are really pressing into the mat. Unclench your butt if it's clenched. And lower down. We'll do 1 more bridge, or you can rest, or you can do supported bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, go for it. On the count of 1, 2, 3, up. One more inhale and exhale. And down. Supta Baddha Konasana, the soles of your feet together, your legs out in butterfly, one hand at your chest, one hand at your heart. And breathe. I'm going to rock and roll forward. So I'm going to get my knees into my chest. I'm going to rock and roll forward. However you want to come into downward facing dog. We'll meet there. And breathe. We're going to go into pigeon on the right. So if your knee requests you to not be in pigeon, go into figure 4 on your back. But for those going into pigeon, bring your right leg up behind you and bring your right knee to behind your right wrist. Flex those right toes and scoot your way back on your left foot so that you come onto your forearms, and then if it's there for you, lower all the way so your forehead is on the mat and your arms are extended out. You can untuck your toes or have your toes tucked, but make sure your toes are flexed on your bent leg, and breathe. You should feel this in your bent leg hip. If you're feeling this ouch in your knee, come out of it and go into figure 4 on your back. This is a good time to return to maybe a mindfulness practice, or if you have a favorite mantra, or you can just do a quick body scan like we did at the opening of our practice today. But this is a time when it's very easy to go back to our list making. It might be beneficial to actually allow our mind to not race ahead, but just to focus on something calming. Slowly make your way up. Put your hands on the mat. Come back into, if you're in pigeon, to a downward facing dog. And then bring your right leg up. Look back and see that your hips are in line with one another. Bend your right knee. So now it's 45 degrees. And then open your hips by fanning open that leg. Try to bring your right ankle to touch your left butt. Mine can't make it that way, but this is another hip opening. Put your foot back down on the mat. Now raise your left leg. Look back, your hips are in line with one another. It's not, that leg isn't going all the way up. We're really using our thigh muscle to raise that leg up and down. And now swing it up, knee behind your left wrist. Flex your left toes or your bent leg toes if you're on the other leg. Scooch your straight leg back. Come onto your forearms. And then, if it's there for you, sink into your mat, forehead on mat, arms extended. And breathe. Make your way back up slowly, slowly, slowly. Bring that left foot back to meet your right on the back of your mat. And then raise that left foot again, just like we were starting to do with pigeon. Bend your knee so it's 45 degrees. And then fan open your hips. You're stacking your hips on top of one another, and you're bringing that foot, that left foot, closer to your right butt. Your arms are evenly on the mat in front of you. I'm up on my toes as much as I can be, and bring your foot back down to the mat. And run your legs through into a forward, we're going to go into forward fold. So your legs are straight out in front of you. Bring your arms up overhead and bend over your legs. Really bringing the lower back towards your knee. You're not rounding, you're really drawing your lower back towards your knee. And breathe. Come back up. Come onto your back. I offer waterfall by placing a block underneath your sacrum. Your legs should pop right up. Your ankles are on top of your knees are on top of your hips. Your shoulders are firmly into the mat. If you like, come up into shoulder stand, headstand, or legs up against the wall. We'll be here for a minute. I like to look at my toes, and I try to think of 10 things that bring me joy. People, places, food, memories. Animals. That would be like 4 for me right there. If you're in shoulder stand and it's there for you, come back to plow. Just as long as your neck is protected. If it feels wonky on your neck, come out of that. In fact, that's why I like waterfalls so much. But if it's there, we're in plow. And then bring your knees to your ears in deaf man's pose. And regardless of what inversion you're doing, if it's waterfall, remove your block. If it's deaf man's pose, slowly roll down to your back and straighten your left leg out completely in front of you. Bring your right knee into your chest. Really actively draw it into your chest. And now, with the assist of your right hand, bring your right knee over to touch the left side of your mat. The point here is your hips are stacked. If your right shoulder pops off the mat, that doesn't matter. Now extend that right arm and look to your right for supine twist. Come back to center, bring your right knee in, counter stretch anything that feels good. Stretch your right leg out fully in front of you. Now bring your left knee into your chest. Same thing on this side, draw it across the right side of your body. Extend your left arm out in a T and gaze over your left. Come back to center. Bring both knees into your chest. Really energetically, really bring them in. And stretch your legs out for your final rest, Shavasana. Flop your arms out, flop your ankles out, and relax. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Begin to bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, roll on to your right side, cradling your arm, your head and your arm in a fetal position. And slowly come up into a comfortable seated position. And bring your hands to your heart. with your eyes closed. We'll end practice the way we started, with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead, and raising your head, we say, the light in me honors the light in you. We bow in, join each other in namaste. Namaste.